looks like I'm live. Looks like we're live. Let's see. All right. Tells me we're live. Oh, God. Let's see what happens if I do that. All right, looks like we're really live. All right. This makes me a little bit nervous. This is my first actual live stream. Okay, it says I wasn't streaming, but I don't know. Okay, YouTube health is excellent. All right. 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. And we'll start our live stream for the first time ever. All right. Let's do a little test. See if it shows up. Oh, it worked. I chatted to myself. All right. It's kind of nerve-wracking because it's my first time and I might be talking to nobody, but I do that a lot. I got my trusty iPad over here, looking at my ugly face over there and on the screen, and just hoping that someone's listening. This is still just pre-stream. We have 1 minute. 1 minute. That's crazy. Look at my show notes here. All right. All right, if you're here with me, we got a few seconds before official start time. Would you please give me your name in the chat section? I'd love to know who's watching. I see about 3 people watching. Let me know who you are so I can acknowledge you and so I don't talk to myself all night. It's not officially 8:45, so you people are early and you get a bonus. You get this. Oh, it's 8:45. You're here in time. All right, way to go. All right. Yeah, let's see. We got, oh my gosh, Pentatonic Pete is here. Wait, and I don't know if I know who Mark Muffins is, but thanks, Mark, for joining us. If you all don't know Pentatonic Pete, you ought to check out my videos on Facebook and some on YouTube. This dude's an incredible guitarist right here in Pittsburgh. He plays some wild stuff. He's really talented too. He doesn't just play shred music. He plays all kind of stuff. Really good. Some blues, some jazz. Throws a little funk in there. All right. We're doing all right. We got about 3 people watching, which is 3 more than I thought would watch. So thank you. We're going to hang on a couple more minutes and then I'll just get started with what I was planning. But just so you know, this is an informal time for me to connect with people who want to talk about guitars and gear and geeky stuff. Guitar geek stuff. Look behind me, you'll see all kind of guitars. I'll show you around real quick in a couple minutes. But anyway, we have a couple more people joining us. That's really cool. Pete, you're the man. Don't worry about it. You're worth it. And then, let's see. We got a new person here. Oh, man. That's a tricky name. I'm going to do my best, so please forgive me in advance. Jerish Bachfeld. And that's really cool. Thank you so much. While we're at it, how about, can you guys tell me where you are right now? Like what city, what state, and maybe what country. If you're in another country, that's even better. I have communicated with guys from Germany, Australia, Canada, and another like European country, one of the ones I can't pronounce. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. I'll try to make it as painless as possible. I'm going to put a little background music on. If it's too loud, please tell me. All right? Hopefully this is copyright-free music. I was told it was. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to take a quick little walk around my studio and just show you the kind of things. Oh, look at that. Mark Muffins is in Ontario, and Jerish is in Pennsylvania. Mark J is in Pittsburgh. And we know Pete's in Pittsburgh because he's Pittsburgh Pentatonic Pete. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, so we're going to switch over to this other phone. I'm just going to show you around real quick. If you have questions, just put them in the text, and I'll do my best to answer. But I want to show you my little studio I set up a couple years ago. And what's really exciting to me is that my wife gave me the space, even though it's a tiny space, and the budget to make this little studio. And I did my best to make it really functional for guitar practice, guitar recording, and even vocal recording, but I suck at singing. So let's switch over and I'll show you around a little bit. All right, let's get some lights on. So you come in the studio, there's the door. My favorite amp here, I got my nice Fender Deluxe Reverb. Pete, you've played through that, I think. I've got a nice speaker up there. I got the practice mirror. All right, that's good for like if I want to see how I actually look in public, which is scary. Got some guitars here. I got my Yamaha bass. This is my new favorite right here. This is my Sire Larry Carlton S3. It's the lower budget grade Strat, but I'm telling you what, that humbucker in the bridge, it just screams. And the neck is incredible. It's got rolled edges on the frets and the fretboard. Anyway, we'll get past that. Here's my Yamaha RevStar Standard. in Hot Merlot. Loving that puppy. Now my wife's a genius. She's really good at organizing. So she gave me this idea to put all these cables over here. And I labeled them different ways. Speaker cables, USB cables, charging cables. Too many stinking cables. Here's my desktop. It's actually not as bad as usual. But that's what we have there. What I really want to show you is really cool. What I have set up underneath. Real quick. I'll keep it quick. I don't want to drag this out. Turn on some lights under there. I have been really enjoying the Headrush Core. And it's a great multi-effects pedal. But I did all my best to run the wires through the walls. So I have wires coming from the speakers I use right there. I have all kind of jacks, cables coming from other jacks in the walls. So we look around the room. Got the Wall of Fame. A couple D'Angelico guitars. But tucked underneath here is, it's like that one of those combo jacks. If I plug in there, it comes right to one of the cables underneath my desktop, so I can plug right in. Someone wants to sit over here, they can plug in there. Anyway, this is my Wall of Fame, my guitars that I really love. This guitar here is my cheapest, and it is in my video called Why My Cheapest Guitar is My Favorite. $66 out the door. Anyway, that's that. Second amp, the Boss Katana. MK250. And let's take a quick look in the shop, and then we'll come back and maybe talk through some more questions. I do see somebody on the screen. Just a quick note here. Somebody said they're from Blitzburg. Yeah, baby. All right, let's go back. But we'll go walk through the shop real quick. So this is where I work on guitars all the time. Just really, really love it in here. Got some storage under there for stands and stuff like that. This is my cheap practice amp for testing pickups and guitars when I'm working on them. An array of tools, all kind of stuff, you know. Once again, my wife helped me with this idea, a little parts organizer. Great way to keep track of screws and nuts and switches, all kind of crap. I got a cheap TV over here, but I tell you what, it's great when I want to monitor myself. I just mirror my phone camera on there if I'm making a video. It's great. There was a cool feature I wanted to show you guys, but I'm trying not to drag this part out too long. I need a little more help with organizing, but I have a second Katana that I got to use at the club. My brother has a club where I have an open jam where Pete comes and plays. And I use that for others to play through. Here's my shelving that my wife also designed. And it's to store all my boxes and crap, and then all the cases I have. And maybe the last thing I'll show you is my Barry caster I made from parts. That's an all parts neck. And then a cheap body from Monoprice. Not a bad guitar though. Plays well, sounds good. Fun to play. Let's go back to the desk and we'll do a little question time and have some fun. All right. Oh, hey, thanks. I want to acknowledge these comments. Mark said, legendary cable management. That's my wife, man. She's a genius. And Florida Natural, come meet Alex, bro. Hey, well, that's cool. Thanks, dude, for checking in from Florida. Nice. Yeah, you like oh, sorry, dude, I'm doing my best. Jerish really likes my 65 Deluxe Reverb, and who wouldn't? I mean, that thing, it's like, it's heaven's speaker. And let's see. Oh, okay, nice. Dude, I'd love to come to Florida. I have a lot of bills to pay, though. Can't come down there, man. That's cool, but thank you, man. Thank you so much for checking in. All right, so what I wanted to do, I showed you a quick little tour of the studio and then my workshop. I had a couple questions. I would love to see you guys chime in and give me your thoughts. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Feel free to write them in the comments section, like any thoughts you have. But I wanted to tell you real quick how I got into playing guitar. And then I want you to be thinking, to tell me what motivated you to play guitar. Who was your first big influence that kind of like made you think, I want to play guitar, man? So I was about 14. This is the year 1979, 1980. And I did nothing. I was a lazy bum. And my friends and I were sitting around one day at a little after school club, and we had to come up with a club to do something. And we're like, what are we going to do, man? We don't know how to do anything. One of the dudes said, why don't we play guitar and we'll make a band? We're like, okay, we'll start a band. And the great thing is none of us played instruments except one of us. So eventually we got into it. We started practicing, bought guitars, all that kind of crap. And we had a blast. That was 8th grade. And we played in a talent show. Who can guess what our song was? It was 1980. If anybody guesses the song we played at the talent show, I'll give you something, man. I don't know. I'll do something for you. But I'll tell you what. I'll give you a hint. The live version is about 12 or 13 minutes long. This is 1980. What song would be about 12 or 13 minutes long at a very high peak of popularity at that time and played by a band from the South? Anybody know? All right, anyway, I will tell you that I really suck. I really sucked at that time. I was not good at guitar. I knew a few bar chords, a couple open chords. But anyway. Oh, wait. My man, Jerish got it. First guess, Free Bird by Leonard Skinner. Way to go, man. Way to go. I want to scroll back through here and see something. Jerish, that's really good, man. Yeah, my little brother and I were in the band. We had a couple guys with us. And we tried our best. We were given 10 minutes to play in this talent show. And pretty sure we won about 15. And I remember the teacher in charge was reaching out from behind the curtain trying to pull me off. He was trying to get my attention. I was like, I'm a rock star, dude. I'm in 8th grade. I'm a rock star. Leave me alone. All right, so what motivated you to play guitar? Anybody? Tell me, did you see a concert? Did you hear a song on the radio? Were you like, oh my gosh, man, I can't believe this. I have to play. Oh, man. I dig you guys. Anybody? What was the motivation to start guitar? I'd love to hear what you think. I know for me, once I started playing, I just didn't want to stop. I went home after one night after learning to play some songs with a friend, and I borrowed my brother's guitar. Okay, Mark, we're going to tell you your answer. Dude, that's so true. Mark Muffins said, getting attention from girls. And back in the 80s, if you played guitar, girls paid attention to you. I mean, even a dork like me. And so nowadays, it's not so much. I know young kids who play, and I've talked to a lot of people, and girls don't seem to be impressed anymore. But that's okay. Okay, nice. Pete, my man Pete, Pentatonic Pete, he got impressed by a guitar player in his older brother's band. When he heard him play Rush and Zeppelin and The Who, he was hooked. He stopped playing air guitar and learned the real thing. And I'm glad you learned the real thing, Pete, because you are incredible. I'm not joking, guys. My buddy Pete, who's on here right now, that dude makes it sing. He's really good. He comes to our open jam night, and I still can't get him to play a song with me, though. I must not be good enough. Come on, Pete. All right, anybody else? Anybody else have a funny or a reason? What got you started? Why did you want to start playing guitar? I'm going to tell you another funny story. This is a true story. I was 14, girl crazy like Mark was saying. And Pete, you're worth it. Don't worry about it. I was playing guitar, loved playing. I was playing every day that I could. When I come home from school, I'd play. And I remember I was outside playing football one time with my brother and some friends. Now, I'm 14 years old. I was never very athletic. And we played football in the alley behind our house. And the alley was like death row. It was all chopped up, crappy, falling apart blacktop. And we'd play football in this alley is about 12 feet wide. And there was yards on both sides. One of the kids threw the ball in the yard. It was my turn to go get it. I went to get it. I tripped over a tiny fence, flew through the air because I was a dunce, and I cracked my left collarbone. And I was crying, and I had to go to the hospital and all that crap. Anyway, when they finally put the splint and crap on my arm, I wasn't able to play guitar, and I cried. I cried and cried and cried because I couldn't play. I was so sad. But anyway, that's just some of the wild things that, funny stories I remember. Hey, guys, you got to tell me, who is your favorite guitarist right now? Like, let's say someone who's alive right now and still playing, recording, performing in some way. Who's your favorite right now? Or who's someone you really look up to? I'm going to tell you my two right now that I really admire, but I can't copy much of what they play. Mark Lettieri, who plays on his own. He plays with Corey Wong in concert. I saw him last month. He plays with, what's that group, that big group? Snarky Puppy. And he also plays with Fearless Flyers. And crazy dude. The dude plays some wild stuff. He plays a lot of baritone music. All right, guys. One of my other friends just signed on. PJ, thanks for signing on. Mark, I'll get back to you in a second, but PJ said his motivation for playing guitar was me. And I just met him last year, so I know he's full of crap. Mark Muffins says, Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 inspired you a lot. That's cool, man. It's so cool when you, like, someone does something, you're like, I can do that, or I want to do that. So that's really cool. Thank you for telling me that. In fact, one of the guitars I worked on last year was a Tom DeLonge Strat. One of my friends had it. Needed some work, so I did fixed some wiring and fixed the frets, all kind of work. So good, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing that. What was I saying? Oh, who's your favorite guitarist right now? Is that what you were saying, PJ? Your favorite guitarist? You smart ass. Who's your favorite guitarist right now? I said Mark Lettieri, and Corey Wong's like my second right now. That dude. If you've never seen him, you really need to check out his music. He is like remarkable. He broke his wrist. Pete, you're the man. What's his name? Corey Wong broke his wrist when he was a kid. So the muscles healed in a weird way so that now he's able to throw his wrist back and forth at such high speed that it looks like he has no wrist. Like it's like a rubbery blah, 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 blah. And he's incredible. Check out Corey Wong. Some of his older stuff, his newer stuff. He seems to be recording 2 albums a year, I swear. And he's always collaborating with other artists. He's incredible. He is just so good. Pete, come on, man. Give us one inspiration. Tell us one. Just one guitarist that made you think, oh, I want to play. You saw your brother, right? Well, any famous guitarist? I love Clapton. I got to say Clapton's one of my top all-time favorites. I saw him last year in concert. That was great. my man was slow. He was, you know, he didn't, I don't think he moved. I think he really pretty much, the only time he moved was to pick up the different guitar. But didn't need to move. He was great. Okay, Pete says Alex Lifeson. Yeah, for sure. He's Rush, right? That's from Rush. And then Jeff Beck. Yes, Jeff Beck. I think Jeff Beck was probably at a level that most humans will never reach. Oh man, that's crazy. I agree. Another question I have for you, while you're thinking about it, guys. If you don't have a person you could say is your favorite guitarist, do you have a guitar right now that is your favorite? Like when you sit down, you're just like, I want to play that. I just want to play that guitar, right? I'm going to tell you what, I have one. It's not my cheapest anymore, but I'm going to give you a close-up on this bad boy. This thing right here, I'm telling you what, I got a deal on this from a local shop. Pete and other guys from Pittsburgh. You probably know of Pittsburgh Guitars. And the owner, John, is a really nice dude. And I got this from them last month. I just love it. I got to tell you what's best about it. It's nothing fancy. It's a Strat, super Strat. Maybe it's a fat Strat. They call it a fat Strat, I guess. Humbucker, single coil, no splits, no coil splits, but I really love the whammy, the tremolo. It's the only one I've ever used that kind of stays in tune pretty dang well, and it's a 2-point, and it's very sensitive, so you can do a nice little shimmer without, you know, feeling like you're going to go out of tune. But in my opinion, the best part of a guitar has to be the neck, and this neck, dudes, this neck. I don't know if I can show you, but look at this. These edges, not just the frets, but the fretboard are rounded. This thing feels worn, and it's not that old. Just plays great. And the sound of it gives you all the Strat tones you want. And in my opinion, it's better than some of the real Strats I've played. Okay, let's go back to camera 1. Let's see some comments. PJ says, yeah, man. Is that the, wait. PJ said his Gretsch Electromatic Semi-Hollow, baby brother to the White Falcon. Is that the one you brought over my house? Yeah, that was sweet, dude. Yep. Yeah. Baby brother to the White Falcon, plays super nice for 1/4 the price. I'm telling you what, man. You don't have to spend thousands to get nice guitars. And Dreesh said, if basses count, which they do, my favorite is my Epiphone Thunderbird. Sounds like heaven, and once you get used to it, it's great to play. PJ, thanks for saying that. Yes, it was great guitar. I love that Gretsch. And sorry, dude, I'm doing my best. Jerish, I love basses. I have a bass in the back there. It's a Yamaha, just a basic one, but I love bass. It's fun to play. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you another one, guys, if you don't mind. I'm going to show you another guitar. This is actually my most expensive guitar, but I think it was worth it. And I'm a cheapskate. That's all there is to it. So I don't spend a lot of money. And I bought this from End Stuff Music in Pittsburgh. And they are perhaps the best music store I've ever been to. I've been to a lot of them in other states. End Stuff has such a great selection, but also great service. This is the Revstar Standard, Korean model, right? But, oh, I'm sorry, Indonesian. But this thing, I don't know how to explain it, but the neck is super sweet. Stainless steel frets. I mean, come on, dude. Finally, someone made a design that's really cool and unique. Not a Strat or Les Paul style, kind of a blend. And then these soap bar P90s, I'm telling you what, you got the 5-way switch here, and then you got this push-pull knob for a wild, crazy sound they call the focus knob. I'm not always crazy about it, but I'm learning to really like it. That's one of my other favorites. That one really can do just about anything. Love that thing. And Jerish says, oh yeah, Yamahas are great. Yeah, and End Stuff is where I got the Thunderbird. Yeah, End Stuff's great, man. Back in the 80s, let's see, I was probably like 17 or 18. And I used to beg my mom and dad for every birthday I'd want a new guitar. That's why I have so many now. No, I'm teasing. But I would beg for a new guitar, and they bought me a Strat. Now, this is like 83, 84, I'm guessing, in that range. And he bought me a Strat, not a Squire, a Fender Strat from End Stuff Music. Beautiful candy red. I don't know if it was candy, but it was red. Standard Strat, just 3 single coils. Great guitar. Well, shoot myself. In the 90s, when I was newly married and in college and really poor, I sold it. Only to realize that I sold a Japanese Strat for a couple $100 like an idiot, and somebody got over on me big time. Okay, let's see what Pete says. Custom Strat called the, oh yeah, Pete has a friend. Am I allowed to say his name? I'll say Frank, that's all I can say. Frank, who makes guitars. He made the Blaucaster with a Gibson Dirty Fingers humbucker in the bridge and the Fender noiseless in the neck with a Godot, like a Floyd style trim. Rosewood compound neck. Oh, I love that. I love compound necks. Great. And you also have a Brian Moore I-913. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. And then you all, Pete, do you have 3 favorites, bro? And he has a Strat with 3 Fishman Fluents. Fishman Fluents. What is the deal with those? Like, what is their main claim to fame? I don't really know much about them. I've never messed with them. Anyway, that's 2 of my favorites right there. I got to tell you, when it comes to amplifiers, I love my Reverb 65, but it is heavy. And another story for you. Ready? Story time. Get a piece of carpet, sit on the floor. When I was young, newly married, and poor, we were hurting again, and needed some money. I had this Fender amp from when I was a teenager, and I forget what it was called. Maybe somebody can help me in the comments. It stood about, I'd say 3 feet tall. It was on wheels. It had 4 10-inch speakers, and it was a full-blown tube amp. I don't know if it was a lead, what they called it. I don't even know. I was so dumb. I sold that in the 90s for like just a little over $100. And it's surprising I haven't committed suicide, realizing all these dumb things I've done. Okay, Pete just scolded me. No, he didn't scold me. He said, too much to type about Fishman Fluents. I'll have to look it up. I will use the internet. Thank you, Peter. I guess Pete is going to regret signing in here tonight. But I do appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. We're going to be on just a few more minutes, but I wanted to see if you guys had any questions about any of the stuff I showed you, any the equipment, maybe the setup, anything like that. I don't want to drag this out too long. I don't want to punish you all. It is a school night. Any thoughts, any ideas? All right. I got one more for you. Hold on, I lost it. When you play guitar, I assume you play, on a regular basis. What are one of the things... Oh, I'll answer that question, Mark. Thank you. I'll come back to my dumb question later. Mark said, how did I get into guitar repair? So about 6, 7 years ago, I wanted to build a guitar from a kit because my oldest son Zach got into, he was building one with a friend, and I thought I want to build one. So I bought a kit, and it was a piece of crap. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. And, you know, the neck didn't fit well. And, you know, when I finally put it all together, it was like, okay, let's burn this. Anyway, but after that, I was like, wait a minute. I need to learn how to put them together better. As a side note, I hate sanding, staining, clear finishing, painting, all that kind of stuff. I'm a contractor. I work on homes every day, but I hate painting, staining, sanding. So I don't like to do things from bare wood or whatever. I like to take maybe bodies that are already together and put them with a nice neck or something or whatever. But anyway, once I started realizing that I could have made that kit better by, you know, maybe more experience, I decided to just start working on them. So I'd buy cheap ones and, you know, put some new wiring in them. One of the wildest wiring schematics or plans I ever did was this, oh crap, I'll have to remember what it was called, the Ghost pickup. And it's you put it in like a Telecaster, and what it does is it puts that little piezo wire underneath the bridge or something, so you can have acoustic sound from the piezo wire or diamonds or whatever. Oh, no, scratch that. Whoop, whoop. Erase that from history. I'm sorry, they were piezo saddles. The saddles were made out of piezo crystals. It's crazy. And they picked up vibrations from the strings and transformed them to a little thing I put inside the body of the guitar. Made it sound like an acoustic. It was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it was pretty dang good. That was the first crazy thing I got into. And then I started realizing, okay, well, I could learn how to do some more. So I started watching YouTube videos and just trying new things. And I usually did it on cheap stuff, you know, because I didn't want to jack stuff. I didn't want to mess up my guitars or my friends' guitars. So I bought a lot of cheap guitars. And that's where I got the one that I showed you back there. It's called the Monster Strat. And that is one that I got from Goodwill. With shipping and tax was $66. It's an Ibanez Geo Basic Strat style fat Strat, but I changed everything in it, put this wild pre-wired pickguard in it, and it plays and sounds pretty dang good. The pickups are a little microphonic. They're a little too strong, so I have to be aware of that. But so then I just got into it more and more and more. Thank you for asking. Friends started asking if I could fix stuff. I started doing it just for fun, and now I actually do it as a little side business. So that's fun. And then the more time I had to develop my workshop, you know, the more I can offer an actual service to people. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area and you don't mind coming over to the North Hills, in McCandless area, I work on guitars. I do total fret jobs like leveling, you know, polishing. What's that word? I forget the word. It's a big word. But anyway, leveling them out, making them really nice. I do rewires. I do mods. Just about anything you do with the wiring. So, and I have a blast with it. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Mark. All right. What's the hardest thing for you about playing guitar? Crowning. Thank you, Pete. You're the man. I do it, but I don't know what it's called. Thanks, Pete. Yeah, crowning the frets. I really enjoy that part. It's a little tedious, but I like doing it because it really, if you get the frets right, I mean, the guitar becomes a whole new instrument. I've had some really crappy instruments, either my own or I've worked on some for friends, and they weren't the greatest instrument, but when you clean up those frets and level them out and really crown them and polish them, man, they just play like butter. Anyway, back to that last question, and then we'll probably end this pretty soon. What's the hardest thing for you about guitar? What's the hardest thing to learn, right? because I'll tell you what mine is, and I've tried a number of times. I cannot play with my thumb over the bass side of the neck, right? Like Jimi Hendrix does, like a lot of big time artists do. Corey Wong does it. I just can't. When I was a kid, 17, 18, I took classical guitar lessons, and my teacher frowned upon that very strongly, and I never tried to do it again. He got mad at me. I had to sit a certain way and, you know, hold the strings, the guitar a certain way, and the hand had to stay behind. My wrist had to stay behind the neck. You didn't want that thumb crawling over the top. That's the hardest thing for me. Second hardest, I would say, is probably slide guitar. I want to play slide. I have a glass slide over there. I've had stainless ones. I don't know. And Jarish says, finding time to practice. I hear that, dude. I'm at a stage in life where, fortunately, I can practice most evenings late in the night because my wife goes to bed around 8:30. I stay up till about 11:30. So I usually come down here and practice or work on videos or stuff like that. But yeah, I hear you, man. Finding time to practice, because you really need to practice, right? Funny story time. It may not be funny, but it's true. When I was very new at guitar, let's say this is probably 81, 82, I just wanted to be the best. You know, I was cocky and wanted to be as good as Eddie Van Halen. And by the way, I've never copied anything he's played. I can't do any of it. But I had a friend named Jack who was also learning to play, and he was playing more bass, but he played guitar also. And I would say, oh man, I just want to be good. I just want to get good, because I get so frustrated. And he said, well, I have a magic pill. And he was joking. But he would say, just take this pill, and in 3 days, you'll be the best guitarist in the world. But it didn't work because he didn't have a pill. But there's no such thing. It just takes practice. It takes time. And I think some people have God-given talent that is easier to develop. My family has been blessed with musical talent. My older brother, my younger brother, my late younger brother, was phenomenal on piano. So, yeah, practice and somewhat of a gift definitely helps, yeah. Anybody else? Any other thoughts before we close this off? Any other questions, comments, opinions? How do you like my hairstyle? I parted it on the side tonight. Any questions about any of my guitars or gear or anything? I tell you what, we're going to end this in a couple minutes, but I want to say a couple things real quick. First of all, thank you so much for hanging out. I've enjoyed this. One of the most enjoyable things for me in the YouTube world is communicating with viewers. I've had people from other countries, Germany, Australia, Canada, and I said another one earlier, I can't remember. Oh, Italy, that blew me away. Thank you, Mark. But anyway, I love talking with you guys. So I have a lot of videos on my channel if you want to check them out, Mac Guitar Mania. Of course, you're there now, so you know where I am. But, oh yeah, you're right, Pete. But anyway, I do appreciate your time, and I'm glad we could do this a little bit. And Pete said something in answer to my other question, what's the hardest thing for him is playing classical style, because you can't hide the mistakes. That is true, man. And I don't know much, but the little bit I learned it has been helpful. But yeah, it's incredible. Classical guitar is great. I do like the flat necks, the flat fretboards on classical. But anyway, that's just about it. I think we're going to go ahead and sign off. But I want to tell you again, thank you guys. I dig you. Hope to see you next time if I do another live stream. And check out my videos. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me through YouTube. And my email, if you want to send me any questions or just connect with me, is mattgmania@gmail.com. gmail.com. So it's my name, Matt G Mania at gmail.com. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Oh wait, Jerish, dude, are you here? You're here in Pittsburgh, Jerish. I'm going to give a shout out. Jerish said he's looking forward to the next 565 Live Jam Night. And that's the club in Bellevue, PA, 15202 zip code, if you're curious, where my brother owns a club and I host an open jam once a month. Our next one, Jerish, so you know, is January 30th, and we'll start at 7 p.m. That's 565 Live in Bellevue. And if you want to look at them online, it's club565live.com. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Happy New Year. I hope to see you next time around.